Hello to everyone who's watching this. My name is Inna. I am talking to you from Khmelnytsky, Ukraine. And I'm a teacher, I'm an educator. I teach English and Japanese. I'm currently at the school where I teach. Behind me you can see the map of Japan. And I would like to talk to you a little bit about the educational process here in Ukraine, what it is, how it's happening with our current situation, and all of that. So as of today, the 3rd of May, Ukraine has been at full-scale war with Russia for 69 days. At the very beginning, the educational process has stopped completely, but then it has been renewed. Although at the moment we have all the classes, both classes at school and extracurriculum classes online, mainly because children in Ukraine cannot go further than 100 meters from their houses without adult supervision, which is something we have done for their own safety. So while we do have studying, it is not the same, and for my children it has changed quite a lot. They tell me that the thing that they miss the most is hanging out with their friends, because they cannot see them, they cannot leave their houses. A lot of children are currently living abroad. Some of them continue studying here in Ukrainian schools. Those who live abroad also miss their friends very much. They miss their pets, their cats, their dogs, their parrots, and they miss their dads, because their dads were not allowed to leave Ukraine. Only women and children could do that. What else do we have? Some kids, quite a lot, have their parents, mainly their fathers, but sometimes their mothers as well, in the units of territorial defense. And my kids tell me that they're really worried because they understand that it is a dangerous job and that something bad might happen. As for others, some kids have their parents as volunteers. They tell me that they make nets, they transport medication, and they collect military equipment. And kids often help if they can help somehow, especially with making nets. During our classes, sometimes we have an air raid. I can hear that there is an air raid happening at the moment as I'm speaking. And when we do have an air raid, we have to stop the class because kids go to their hallways, to shelters, and sometimes they cannot continue with the lesson because they have no internet or very bad internet connection. At the very beginning of the educational process, when I asked them what they missed the most, my students told me that one student, she told me that she really wanted to go shopping. That was the thing she missed the most. But right now, most of the businesses renewed their work, so now that is possible, although might be a little dangerous. As for the students who stayed in Ukraine, they mostly carry on with their lives. They play computer games, they read, they watch TV shows, they use TikTok mainly. That's the most popular social media for the kids right now. And some of them say that their lives haven't changed. Some of them say that it did, and quite a lot. A lot of them have gone to live in small villages with their grandparents. So they carry on studying at schools, but they are not in the city. And my biggest fear as an educator for those kids is that they get very little socialization. At the moment, they don't get to do sports. At least most of them don't get to do sports because it's very hard for parents to drop them off and pick them up every time. And some sports, some extracurricular activities did not renew their work, and them not being able to see each other, it's very hard, as some students had to abandon their studying for different financial reasons, being abroad and things like that. They don't get much fresh air because they don't get to leave their houses very often, and they can do very little volunteer-wise because they cannot volunteer by themselves. They have to have their parents help them do that, so they can see that all the adults are doing something, volunteering, territorial defense, just working, and so on, but they might feel a little useless. I have the situation where some students don't have cameras properly working, so they cannot turn on their cameras during lessons, and because of that, some of the students didn't even see the faces of their classmates, if those classmates are quite new to the groups. And of course, our kids would appreciate any support they can get, any drawings, any cards, any messages. I know my students would love to practice their English. They might not know it yet, but they would really like to do that. And I do hope that we do a lot here to protect the children, and hopefully they will stay as safe as possible until we have won, until the war is over. But I do hope that in the process of keeping them safe, we can also make sure that they get enough fresh air, that they get to see their friends as often as possible, that they get to play, not only study, and that they get to sometimes abandon their technology and just go outside and see stuff. Yes. As of now, I would like to teach you some of the important phrases that you might want to use if you support Ukraine, which are, first of all, as Slava Ukraini. Slava Ukraini means glory to Ukraine. And another important phrase is the response to Slava Ukraini, which is Heroyam Slava. Heroyam Slava means glory to the heroes. So if someone says Slava Ukraini, you answer Heroyam Slava. And another thing I would like to teach you is how to pronounce the name of our capital city correctly. Many people say Kiev, which is not quite correct because this is the Russian name for our capital city, but the Ukrainian version of that is Kyiv. So Kyiv is the capital of Ukraine. And the very last one I would like to teach you is how to say I support Ukraine in Ukrainian. And it would sound like Я підтримую Україну. So if you want to say I support Ukraine, you can say Я підтримую Україну. And to wrap this up, the message to all of you who is watching this video from me would be the best way to support Ukraine right now, whoever you are and however old or not so old you are, is to learn about Ukraine from Ukrainian sources preferably. learn about our history, our culture, and our language. Learn how to spell the names of Ukrainian cities in a Ukrainian way, such as Kyiv and Odessa. Those are very important, and other ones as well. And continue speaking about what is happening here, continue learning the names of the Ukrainian cities, especially those that have been affected the most by the war, such as Mariupol. And yeah, just keep telling everyone that Ukraine is important. There is still war happening in here as we speak. So thank you for listening to me. Thank you for your attention. It's been lovely to record this video for you. And Slava Ukraini!